Everybody, Mike Molina here. It is Tuesday, August 29th. Finally getting some relief in mortgage rates. Going to go over why that is. First reason is, as I've been saying for so long, rates always follow inflation. That has always been true. Until recently, the game used to be wherever inflation goes is where interest rates go. That's how it's been for decades, for at least the past 40 or 50 years. But in the past couple of years, actually in the past year, the game has sort of changed to rates go where the Federal Reserve thinks inflation is, as opposed to where it actually is. And that is not a good place to be, because the Federal Reserve is not actually reading the inflationary indicators as correctly as they should. For example, I'm sure you've heard a lot of reporting in the news about job creations and how many jobs there are. That sounds like a good thing for the economy, but from the Federal Reserve, that is a bad thing, because it means that there is job and wage inflation. Well, when you are reporting in the news that there's, X many jobs created and everybody's celebrating, a job is a job is a job. So if, a whole bunch of part-time jobs where people are working a few hours a week are created, those are counted as jobs. So not only that, you are having the people that were working their regular full-time jobs also working these additional part-time jobs. And so the additional part-time jobs are just the same people that were working the regular full-time jobs, working more jobs to help pay the bills because inflation is so high. Now, I'm not saying that's the only thing. That is just one single example of how things are being misread and also not presented in the correct light to the public. And there's a political motivation for that. I'm not going to get into politics, but I'm just stating the facts that, there's a certain narrative that wants to be presented that, hey, we're creating all these jobs, which is true. But if you're just creating a whole bunch of part-time jobs, for example, then you're really not creating a whole lot of anything, and you're just making people work harder to make ends meet. So that is one example of how things are being presented and not read accurately and misinterpreting inflation. Another thing that came out was consumer confidence. And in August, you can see the index, it's way down. It's down prior to COVID levels, and people just think that, things are not all that good. People are feeling the inflation and the cost of things in their everyday life. They can tell us whatever they want to tell us on the news and in, governmental reports, but things are not better. They are, in fact, worse, and people are feeling it. And additionally, consumer confidence projections, the expectations over the next 6 months are not good. People do not have a whole lot of financial hope, shall we say, for the next 6 months. So all these things are weighing down on the Federal Reserve. And the irony is that the bond market, which is where interest rates come from, thinks that perhaps the Federal Reserve will see this and perhaps take the foot off the gas in terms of continuing to hike and raise the Fed funds rate. So it's just an incredible game of psychology that's going on, and we don't really know how things are going to turn out, because the Federal Reserve is just kind of charting their own wild maverick path rather than just following tried and true measures, and we're just kind of at their mercy. But hopefully some jobs reports are coming out later this week that should, even for them, show that the job growth is not exactly what they're thinking, and that maybe inflation is not so bad. So where does that leave us? Well, as you can see, since middle of July, we've just been on an uptrend, right? And we've broken above all of these barriers. 4.0, this is the 10-year Treasury, which rates tend to follow, 4.2, 4.4. So we hit slightly above 4.4, which was a place I actually never thought we would be, but we were. Then we came down, finally down below 420. We really want to get down below this line right here. Hopefully we will get there by the end of this week or sometime next week. If we do, we can start to see a even more dramatic improvement in rates. But we have seen a significant improvement. And today we're at a conventional 30-year fix with a 1-point cost at 6.875%. So that is some good news that we are seeing some sixes again. All right. Now, in other news, and this is some very positive news, FHFA, which measures home values for loan amounts that are the conforming limit and under, showed a month-over-month gain of 0.3% and a year-over-year gain of 3.1%. Case-Shiller, which is considered the gold standard of home appreciation values and measures all transactions, including cash and jumbo transactions, showed a 0.7% month-over-month appreciation gain, and basically a net zero year-over-year. What does this mean? Well, it means that we now have, of the big five, as I like to call them, Case-Shiller, FHFA, CoreLogic, Black Knight, Zillow, 4 out of the 5 have now reached their all-time peak high values. We are now in June of this year, June of 2023, at the same high levels of home values as we were in June of 2022 last year, right before things started to fall down. So we have regained all that we lost, and we are on track to now start to exceed it. So that is some good news. So yes, rates are high, but you can take this information and help show your clients that are still concerned about the so-called non-existent housing crash, that's just not going to happen, and the things are appreciating at a good, healthy pace. The last thing I wanted to share with you is a little bit of trivia. So right here today, this is Freddie Mac's primary mortgage market survey. They publish this every week. They've done so for something like 6 decades. Pardon me. And as of last week, rates hit a high level, recent high of 7.23%. Just for your information, the last time we were anywhere close to this was all the way back to almost 23 years ago. On December 15th of 2000, we were at 7.42%. And why do I bring that up? Because I want you to go, be depressed and kill yourself? No, definitely not. What I want to point out is that even though we are at a 23-year high in interest rates, we're not super busy, but we are doing business. Transactions are happening. People are selling. People are buying. And if we can be this much busy at these high levels, just think how busy we are going to be when rates start to come down. And we should start to see a nice steady decline in rates starting in about the next 30 to 60 days when some other reports come in and we finally can convince the Federal Reserve, hey, inflation is under control. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me anytime. I'm always happy to take your questions. And if you're watching this on YouTube, and I hope you are, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you can, share the video, and have a wonderful day. Take care.